Speaker in this year's graduation, Goniprow. Alex is captain of the debate team. He is a 4-year rock and roll dancer, and he has been active in both the theater and arts programs here at Sherwood. He also was awarded an honorable mention as a Maryland Distinguished Scholar. Throughout all of this, Alex has maintained a 3.8 grade point average and a 4.53 weighted grade point average. Without further ado, here's Alex Goniprow.
Welcome, parents, relatives, friends, faculty, distinguished guests, and the very reason for your presence, the members of Sherwood's class of 2010. To my classmates, congratulations. Today, we celebrate our accomplishments. We have worked hard for over 12 long years to get to this very day. Now, it is very tempting to reminisce about the good times we spent together, or tell a string of funny stories, but I'm not a comedian. So instead, I'd like to ask you one question. If we jumped ahead 70 years to 2080, how do you think we, as a generation, will be remembered? In thinking about an answer to this question, I want to start by bringing you back to an event almost 600 years ago, to Friday, October 25th, 1415. On that day, King Henry V marched his men into a battle with the French. He was outnumbered 6 to 1. The French had 30,000 men, Henry had only about 5,000. Now in the play, Henry V, Shakespeare guesses what King Henry might have said to each of his soldiers in giving them the choice of staying and fighting or leaving the battlefield. He which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. We would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. But he that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe when this day is named. From this day to the ending of the world, we in this battle shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, and gentlemen now abed at home shall hold themselves accursed they were not here. All theatrics aside, Shakespeare does a magnificent job of capturing the resolve King Henry V and his men must have displayed to defeat the French. What it comes down to is the English commoners fought like brothers bound together and believed they could win, even with the odds against them. This is the type of grit I believe our generation will need in order to be successful. Every day in the news we are told that our future will be plagued by unfixable problems, global warming, crisis in the Middle East, obesity, and a government just down the street that cannot work together. Now these predictions are an insult to us, because it means we, as a generation, are viewed as being incapable of solving these problems. I don't believe this is true, and I hope you don't either. We will not be the generation that surrenders new job markets to other nations. We will not be the generation that must wear elastic pants to fit around our waist. We will not be the generation that needs to carry a sun umbrella so we're not burned to a crisp like a French fry due to depletion in the ozone. And we will not be the generation who forgets to talk to each other and can only resort to, OMG, you should see this, LOLTTYL. That don't text, oh my God, you should see this, laugh out loud, talk to you later. Our generation not only has the responsibility to address these and other types of big societal problems, but I also think we have the skills necessary to solve them. All right, easy to say, but how do we do it? Well, I hate to say it, but there isn't a checklist for us to follow. But there is a model. In order to solve the really big problems, we will have to add the people of the Great Depression and World War II, that up to this point have been named the greatest generation. In describing this generation, Tom Brokaw, a news reporter, said, "They won the war. They saved the world. They came home to joys and short-lived celebrations and immediately began the task of rebuilding their lives and the world they wanted." It is remarkable how well this generation was able to build the America we know today. They worked as one really great team to solve the really big dilemmas of their day. This generation was not only united by a common purpose, but also by common values: duty, honor, economy, courage, service, love of family, and above all, responsibility to oneself. And now our own experiences have taught us valuable lessons as well. And these will act like a glue that will hold us together. We are the people we are today because of events like 9/11. We were part of a terrible national crisis. But from this event, we saw and we learned that there are times when we need to come together to fight for the things we hold most dear. We must never forget this lesson. And in the summer of 2005, Hurricane Katrina laid ruin to most of the southern United States, after which Louisiana and other states called for help. Again, we saw and we learned that as a nation, we must show compassion to our neighbors and give aid where they are in need. While catastrophes have taught us one set of lessons, our own accomplishments have been very instructive as well. One such event I'd like to bring up would be the night our Sherwood football team won the state championship. The remarkable aspect of this victory is the fact that Sherwood won not because we had a bunch of Division I prospects, but because we had the best team. That worked together really well. Or look at Rock and Roll Revival. Each year, our school is able to bring together literally hundreds of students and put on a show at a level of performance that most high schools simply couldn't pull off. And yes, we are the first generation to grow up being wired together. And although more constant texting bothers our parents and teachers, it is a new technology that we know how to use, and we can harness it for work and community building. We saw and we learned in these and in many other activities that if we come together, work hard, and stay determined, we can achieve even when the odds might seem to be against us. Gary Trudeau, who writes the Doonesbury comic strip, has often been quoted as saying, "Graduation speeches were invented largely in the belief that students should never be released into the world until they have been properly sedated." For better or worse, I don't think we can afford to be asleep as we head out into the world that awaits us. Whether you're going off to college, joining young services, or jumping right into the world of work, there are days ahead of us that will certainly present difficult challenges. It is on those days that we cannot simply BS it. Instead, we must tackle the challenges head on, remain optimistic, and continue to rely on each other if we want to be the next greatest generation. And so I close. Farewell, Sherwood class of 2010. It's been a year. Let's try to make this world a better place. Principal of Sherwood High School, back